One king prepared a wedding for his son. There was a marriage ceremony for the son. And this was a royal wedding. And the king issued a lot of invitation cards to some people or to some dignitaries. And when the day came, the day of the function, these friends and dignitaries started to give excuses, and they were not available. And the king had already organized the wedding. Everything was set. And the king said, I cannot settle with such an embarrassment. He called his staff, his servants, that yes, those people have disappointed me. They are not going to be available. I want you to go out and call everybody. Just coerce them to come. Convince them to come. Go and call them. So these servants went in the highways and in the byways to invite all the destitutes, to invite all the people. Even those that were living in the ghettos were invited. Even the homeless were invited. And they filled the place. And then they told the king there is still some room. They told him we have brought in a lot of people, but there's still some more room. And the king said, I don't need any empty space. Go back in the streets. Go back in the byways and fill that place. I can't stand that embarrassment. This is a king's son's wedding. I have all what it takes. I have all the food and everything. Go and bring them and fill the place. And finally they succeeded in filling the place. Come all of you. Come. Whether you have a card, no card, you come. And he was inviting people from any sector, from any category, and many people showed up because the king was desperate for people, desperate to feed the place, and many people showed up. And finally they went and informed the king that, you know what, the place is full, the party is ready. Since you are the guest of honor, since you are the guest of honor on your own function, please now walk in. The king stood up and came to inspect the parade. I mean, to inspect everything, to welcome the guests. And as he walked in, and as he was going through the corridors, the aisles, waving to the guests, there his eyes landed on someone. He landed on someone. And the king asked him to stand up. And the man stood up. And they asked him, how did you come here? When I first read that, this question and the king's concern was not making sense to me. When I consider the circumstances in which the king invited these people, this question was irrelevant. This question was not making sense. If I consider verse, I think it was verse 10, 11, when he told them, go in the byways and the highways and in the districts and bring everybody. Now considering the places where the king got his guests, homeless people, destitutes, where were they going to get the wedding garments now? They are living on the streets. But now the guy is accused for not putting on well. And yet when they were inviting them, they told them, just come the way you are. You can, because some of them were called and they said, the king is inviting you for a party today. And some of them could ask, they were, can I even come on that wedding? Can I come really? Me, I don't have shoes. I was selling charcoal. I was selling bottles. Do you mean us bottle collectors are also allowed to come to the feast? Us who clean the trenches also you come. I mean, that was the source of the guests of the king. The sources, I mean, they are such awkward ones. They were brought from the ghettos, from the slums, from the verandas where they used to stay. That's where they got the king's guests on that day. Because the ones who were originally invited disappointed the king. They didn't show up. They went and do their other things. And the king resorted to this type of people, the good and the bad. No qualification, no invitation card, no dress code, no dress code. Coming when you are clean it wasn't a requirement. Whether you are homeless or not, it wasn't a requirement. They told them, everyone you come. And they came running. Remember? The good and the bad had been invited. The dressed and the non-dressed. The clean and the dirty. But the wedding garment at the time of invitation was not a requirement. The wedding garment was not a requirement at the time of being invited. But now we are seeing the king is turning it to be a requirement. And listen, to make the matters worse, the king did not give this man a chance to exit. We don't see the king telling the guy that, okay, 1, 2, 3, get out of here. He told them, let him be bound. Let you be bound. Let you be arrested. Bind you. Hold you tight. Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot. Hand and foot. And take him away. And cast him into the altar darkness, where there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. What is it that we are not understanding there? Where was the missing link? And why him alone? Why him alone? Because the rest of other people came from the same source.
They all came from the ghetto.
Why
was he the victim in
Why
this
is he
case?
the victim now? Because the rest of other guests, we are also coming from the ghetto. They had lived the same life. They had been in the same circumstances. They were also homeless. Why him alone? Here is what is not told. Yes, people were invited to come the way they were. They entered the gate of the palace the way they were. But because they were going to be met by a king, a king who is only supposed to look at good things, the king had the capacity, the king was capable enough that before you could enter into the reception, there was a place where you were supposed to go and wash and take a shower. And from that place, there was another big room with a lot of garments, free of charge. The king had provided them because it was a state function. So you could go in there after taking a shower, and after combing your hair, then you could enter into another huge room where you could change and put off your rags and then put on the wedding garment and then look nice, worthy to be looked at by a king. Then from there you would proceed to the reception room. By the time you would reach in the reception room, you would look so elegant and honorable. You would be as if you were never gotten from the ghetto. You would look very executive and the VIP of the day. Because originally the king had invited the dignitaries. There was no way he would settle to look at people that are looking ugly. So he used his capacity and provided arrangement to change the look of the people, so that by the time they come before him, they look exactly like what he had expected earlier. Here is this one man that when he entered the gate, when he entered the gate, for him he never figured out why these other people take this route. Why do they take the other side? He never inquired. Straight away he went into the reception and sat somewhere with his ragged dresses. And his wisdom could not even tell him that, why don't you look around and see the look of other people? He never even bothered himself to ask others, where are you getting these garments from? He would see them, they were looking nice, elegant, and almost in a uniform. He never bothered even to ask, where do you get the dresses? He never even bothered to ask, where are we showering from?
His feet were full of mud. The hair was all dirty. He was seated at the function reception waiting for food. Waiting for food.
Now when the king asked him, sir, may I know how you came here? You know, we were called. That you say.
They called us. They said there is food here.
And he got the king's wires off. How did you even dare to come on my function with this type of look?
And he said, "O king, they invited us to come as we are. Your servants, where are they? They came for us. Where are your servants? I can show you your servants who came and invited us. They called us to come as we are."
Yes, bakwise ne bagamba buli muntu ajjenga bwali naye tebakyogeddeko nti sigala nga bwozze.
It's true they told you come as you are, but you were not told that don't remain as you are.
Ngambira ne bakulinaanye.
Tell your neighbor.
Nti kituufu ababulizi b'enjiri abaakonoona ku luguudo.
It's true that the evangelists who preached to you,
abaakola crusade,
they organized the crusade.
Baagamba ndi jangu nga bw'oli.
They told you to come as you are.
Naye tewakiwulira nga bakigattako nti sigala nga bw'ozze.
But they didn't tell you to remain as you came.
Ani awulira ngambeko nti amen.
Say amen.
You came on the wedding of the Son of God.
Wajja ku mukolo ku mbaga ya mwana wa Katonda.
There is a dress code that is required.
Waliwo ekyambalo ekisuubirwa.
There is a dress code that is expected.
Waliwo ennyambala ekusuubirwamu.
There is a look that is expected.
Waliwo enfaanana ekusuubirwamu.
There is a standard in place.
Waliwo omutindo oguteekeddwawo.
There is a need for you to change the garment.
Weetaaga okukyusa ekyambalo kyo.
You need to change your dress.
Weetaaga okukyusa ekyambalo kyo.
You need to wash.
You need
to shower. You need to change your talking. You need to change the way you speak.
Somebody
shout hallelujah.
Hallelujah.